Can y'all keep a secret? Okay. This shirt, it's my sister's. Totally didn't ask if I could borrow it. Perks of being home, right? That and my mama's cooking. What's up, y'all? It's Rachel Elizabeth, and you're watching Real Talk with Rach, where we talk about real things, real hard, vulnerable things, because those are the things that get us deeper in relationship with others and deeper in intimacy with God. And sometimes the most real thing that you can do is just give yourself grace, or not say anything, or cry your eyes out, alone or in front of people, or be ridiculously happy, whether or not you know what the reason for that happiness is. Joy is actually a super vulnerable emotion, according to Brené Brown, and I'd say that's relatable. I'm saying all that because a lot has happened this last week, and wow, while I appreciate some tangible progress and forward movement in this transition, like it's way better than waiting for something to happen, it's been extremely difficult because I moved up to Victoria, BC, ending 17 months of being purposely homeless for a relationship that was incredibly intentional and moving towards marriage. I believed that I was going to be up in Victoria for a long time. I believed that I would be renewing my visitor's visa or exchanging it for permanent residency, or at the very least getting a work visa so I could stay up there. What I didn't expect is a breakup the beginning of June. What I didn't expect is to be back in a place of not knowing where I'm going to be or what my immediate purpose is. What I didn't expect is to have all of my storage unit in Los Angeles emptied out, moved up to Canada, and then moved back to my family's place and not know what to do with it because I don't have a home yet. So all of these things on top of a drawn out heartbreak are the real that I'm facing. And in the middle of all of that, I'm navigating this God move down to Redding, California to attend BSSM and be excited to see my family and be excited for next steps, all in the middle of grieving and heartbreak once again and deferred hope once again, and having to say goodbye to all the beautiful friendships that were made and being cultivated. And so the realest thing I can do right now is to tell you that I don't want to do this video. I don't want to be encouraging. I don't even want to talk to God about it. I trust Him. There's a lot harder things that I could be going through. I know He loves me. I know He's carrying me. I know He's providing. He's provided so much this past week to confirm that I am going to Redding. I know God has me. I know He's leading. I know that He's given me peace, but hope deferred makes the heart sick. And so I guess I just want to tell you that it's okay. It's okay to feel all of the things. It's okay to doubt God, but in your doubt, ask Him for faith. And if you're going through anything like I'm going through or harder, I don't want to make this video to give you advice about what to do to make yourself feel better. And like I said, I don't want to make this video to give you any false encouragement, but what I will say, because I know it's true and I need to hear it, is that this is temporary and God is walking us through this. And when we have the strength, let's focus on the good. And when we don't, just be still with Him. And whatever you do, don't stay in a place of isolation and escapism for too long. It only delays your healing. And when you decide to face your pain, even if you don't have community around you, know that you're not alone. Ask the Holy Spirit to be tangibly present with you. Reach out to friends to pray for you. Even if you don't want to share the details, just ask them to be praying for your heart. It's okay to not be okay, just as it is okay to be okay. Personally, I found it really difficult to transition from a place of grieving and depression to a place of happiness because there's some weird thing that happens that I'm sure is rooted in fear of man, condemnation, shame, and guilt. But it's this feeling that if you've brought other people into your grieving process, into your suffering, that it's not okay to move out of that. I don't know if that's relatable, but I think it is. And I think that's why Brené Brown considers joy to be one of the greatest vulnerabilities. But I also think that because there's so many of those negative feelings attached to that, that it means that joy is powerful. And just like my video a couple weeks ago where I said, you have to choose joy. It truly is a choice that you can make, even in the times where you don't feel like it. When I don't feel like it, and I know that I need to choose joy, I allow myself the grace to feel what I'm feeling and process how I need to process whatever that looks like. Or put off processing for a little while and just rest and know that God is holding me and carrying me, and it's okay. But then I choose to put on some worship music, or I choose to put on a podcast of testimonies of God's goodness and faithfulness. One of my favorites is called The Unseen Story. Another one of my favorite podcasts is The Upper Room Dallas. And I'll either listen to that podcast or watch their entire Sunday service, which is a full hour of worship and then an hour of preaching and teaching and encouragement. And sometimes I'll just put on some instrumental worship where you can just sit and just be and let this beautiful Holy Spirit inspired anointed music wash over you. And one of my favorite YouTube channels for that is Soaking in His Presence. Other than that, I know I need to get out of my funk with exercise. So I'll go train, I'll go lift heavy weights, I'll go for a run, I'll go sprint, I'll do some burpees, whatever it takes. Just putting that energy into the productivity of physical exercise helps so much. And lastly, this is why seeking out community wherever you're at, whether you are in the depths of depression or the highs of experiencing one good thing after the next. Side note, you're allowed to have amazing seasons. And I pray that for all of us, myself included. But life is both ups and downs, and we wouldn't appreciate the ups without the downs. So let's be grateful for the down times as much as we can, knowing that God is doing a work in our hearts and He is drawing near to us in our brokenheartedness. And He's teaching us how to appreciate the high times. And He's creating these testimonies through our lives that will help encourage multitudes more, because what we go through isn't just about us. Everything we go through is meant to be something to encourage others with. Read 2 Corinthians chapter 1. So I will encourage you with this, and it's something I'm going to do my best to do as well. Press in to God and to community and family through the hard times and the good times. Because if you're consistent in pressing in day after day, month after month, then you will have friends and family who walk with you through the transitions of valleys and hills, who walk with you through the growth process in your faith, and who you can walk through their lives with, their ups and downs, and be encouraged by their faith and their growth. We were not meant to do this alone. God said in the very beginning, it's not good for man to be alone. And I believe that that wasn't just about Adam getting Eve. I believe that's about community. God Himself is community in the Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are all one. And they were perfectly one before they even created man. But I believe they love each other so much that they desired more than anything to multiply that love by creating man in their own image, and then seeing as though He, God, was already 3 in 1, that He already had community, that if man were made in His own image, then He would need community too. So seek people out. Yeah, it's always awkward in the beginning, but just as this Real Talk series is about being real and vulnerable with people so that people will feel the permission and the freedom to open up and be vulnerable with others, this is something that you have to step out in. Even if your vulnerability is simply going to a small Bible study or something and just sitting there and listening to other people open up and be vulnerable. I promise you, their vulnerability will help you be vulnerable and brave. It'll build your courage. And if you're the type that goes and you're the first one to say anything, you're the first one to be vulnerable, then that's amazing. You are helping others open up and be vulnerable. You're helping others become courageous. Give yourself grace and give others grace. And if you've been hurt by people, know that they're just people. Just as you and I are people, we're not perfect. But if we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus and follow in His example, then we, over time, will become more like Him and will help others become more like Him. And He's the reason that I'm doing this video today. He loved us so much that He became a servant to us. He became a man. He put on flesh, humbled Himself, and did what He didn't necessarily want to do because He loved us. And I know it's a long shot to compare doing this video with my circumstance to the cross, but I am doing this even though I don't want to, because I love Him and because He first loved me. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and share it with a friend who needs it. I love you and I'm praying for you. If you want to support this ministry in any way, there are links in the description box below and in my Instagram bio. I'll see you next time.